Hello there we go, that does better. OBS managed to lose my microphone there for a second. How unpleasant of it. But no, we are here now, we are here. Welcome into the E-Chapel, for it is Friday night and this is the time that Discord... Well, it is Friday night here in the UK. If you're in the UK and you're with me, we're all simpatico, brethren, sistren, and those who do not like to be pigeonholed. Welcome into the E-Chapel. If you're not currently situated in the United Kingdom, then you could be in Europe, in which case I think it's 8 p.m. or something, I don't know. The point is that it's Friday evening, possibly where you are. It might be Friday afternoon where you are. It might be tomorrow where you are, in which case it's Saturday and not Friday. But right here, right now, where I'm sitting, geographically, lexicographically, qualically, it is Friday. Friday permeates and enfolds us, and that means it is time for a Discordian service. Oh yes, full of that old Discordian fire, by which I mean, no, I just made that up. There's no such thing as old Discordian fire. Maybe there is, and I just didn't know about it till right now. How do we know? How do we know what I know? How do we know what I don't know? Oh, I realised this. That's better. The camera needs... I've obviously nudged the laptop there. Not my fault. Don't look at me. So here we are. Obviously, we're going to start the service with none other than the disclaimer. So let's do it. The cradle of familiarity holds you, enfolds you, and leads you forth into the service. All acts of Discordianism portrayed herein are for spiritual entertainment purposes only. No spiritual enlightenment or transcendent experience is offered. or implied. Leaps of faith and logical backflips are performed by trained sophists. Do not attempt to recreate at home. Any resemblance to other religions, alive, dead, or merely untenable, is entirely coincidental. Hail Eris and immanentize the eschaton of brands, the Discordian Society. All associated intellectual property rights are probably also wrongs, just the way they are these days. Fnord. Yeah. So there we go. Very interesting. Order of service tonight. Deep Thoughts. I've moved Kanda. Kanda is now straight after Deep Thoughts. This is our big opportunity. Your big opportunity, if you're watching live and not asynchronously, to derail the service, which is, to be honest, your duty as a Discordian. If you're right here, if you're right now, if you're in the chat, hurling nonsense at me, then that is what is supposed to happen, and the rest of the service can just go fly. It can hang, it can do whatever. I mean, there is one part that we're going to have to do, but we'll come back to that. Faces of Eris, yes, it's back. Faces of Eris is back. Eris is back. What has Eris got for us tonight? Well, we'll find out when we get there. Reflective Tarot, we have the tarot deck charged, ready to deliver a small slice of numinous meaning for the week. And the weekly sacrament, that's the bit that can't be derailed. Here are my sacramental tokens right here. Remember, here at the SWDP, we like strawberry flavoured, we like candy, we like things, you know, that you can just pop in your mouth. We also like inhalants, liquids, anything like that. Anything that's going to help bring you closer to the goddess at the end. But obviously, the goddess ate a hot dog. So, you know, if you want to eat a hot dog, that's a real hot dog, then that's also cool. But a challenge to accomplish every Friday. So which is why we have sacramental objects that stand in for hot dogs. It is hard for strawberry flavoured vape juice to really simulate a hot dog experience. But if that's what you got, that's what you got, I guess. As indeed somebody did have, I think, one time. So there we are. So we've covered all the important parts. And the first thing we're going to do in this service is Deep Thoughts. Yeah, this, I'm recycling an old concept here because this week I caught a video by one of these spiritual types. Now, let's be quite clear on this one. As a Discordian, you are not spiritual. Okay? Or you might be spiritual, but if you are spiritual, it's nothing to do with you being a Discordian. That's what Eris doesn't hold with people being spiritual. People weren't spiritual in her younger days. She doesn't see why. Wow, that is really weird. I'm trying to adjust my ministerial scarf in the stream and not being mirror imaged. It's a very strange experience. Okay, I've done it now. I've adjusted the scarf, but there we are. That's the point. Yeah? If you don't look at, they mirror things like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, things like that. They mirror your image, so that when you're looking at it, you're looking at like, oh, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. But a lot of things don't mirror the image, so you're getting just exactly what is there. And so if I raise that hand, this hand, rather than being mirrored, I get it where it really is, and it spins me out. So there we go. Just a thought. Just an experiential. I'm describing a Qualic experience of having my mind blown. It doesn't take a lot to blow my mind. Your mileage may vary. Yeah. So anyway, I was watching this video by this spiritual type, and it was just chock full of cliches. Not some of them weren't old cliches. They were fresh cliches, like that bit where Jim Carrey equated the status of being depressed, i.e. not wanting to get out of bed in the morning, feeling like in the bottom of a deep hole, you know, all that stuff, numb, not really, with your body telling you needed, get rid of this, deep rest. And I'm like, okay, it's clever, but anyone whose glibometer doesn't go off when they have, well, if you're feeling depressed, it means you need deep rest. It's like, if I was depressed, I'd be tempted to tell them to F off, quite frankly. That's how it is, you know. And when you the danger warning sign is when somebody says, well, I became much more spiritual, or I consider myself a very spiritual person, yeah, like that. Whenever someone says something like that, you know that they're problematic, shall we say. Yeah, let's say problematic. Let's go with that. And so I came with the idea of the pie ritual, which you must be quiet during. And so someone might say to you, shh, pie ritual. And I wrote a blog about it because that's what I used to do before I did a service. And I wasn't doing the blog. The blog was very much... it's weird. I think there are some people who are happy with, journaling because they want to keep whatever they're writing in it super secret. Yeah. But I think if you want to write a blog these days, not when blogging was hot. When blogging was hot, you wanted loads of followers and, you wanted the adoration of thousands of fans and what have you. But nowadays, if you're on a blog, it's because you want to write something down, and if somebody reads it and finds some use in it, jolly good. And of course, there's that subsection of blogging that's kind of pretending to be news. I didn't do 23 this service. And do you know what? I'm not going to, because we had 23 in our St. Bolim's Day service. And I think 23 is an ephemeral concept. Yeah, we've had it once in a week. I think once a week is the minimum. You might decide you're energetic enough to do 2 a week, but 1 a week is perfectly sufficient. Yeah, you don't need to be 23ing all over the place. Let's face it, if you 23'd constantly for 24 hours, I think you'd be pretty tired by the end of it, let me tell you. So, we'll skip it. We'll skip it this service. Let's go with the instinct on that one. But you need to do 1 a week. I'd say that keeps you tuned in to the 23 vibe. So this guy was saying, and it did bring me back to this idea of the thing that you got to beware of, which is the kind of economy of spirituality, in which the person who dances around what that actually means the most is the king. It's a dancing competition, a conceptual dancing competition, in which if you are sophisticated enough, accent on the sophist, if you are able to spin long lines of vaguely numinous horse crap, then you are the best dancer and you win in the pie ritual. It would be a lot better if it was an actual pie ritual, and that the pie that you did the ritual with then got shared out among the participants, because at least then the participants would get pie and everyone likes pie. But in the real ritual, the real pie ritual of pie ritual concerns, all you get is ears full of platitudes, and that's what you get. And the problem is Discordianism, having its roots in Zen, makes that leap into this area. It has a lot of aphorisms, but you got to remember, in Discordianism, those aphorisms are put out there for you to disbelieve them, deride them, and move away from them. They're there to essentially give your mind an exercise in rejection. You reject the aphorism. If you find an aphorism and it resonates with you in Discordianism, you have to hurl it away much more violently than those aphorisms that you just don't agree with naturally. Yeah, you have to literally disagree with everything. Whereas people who are spiritual, they want you to harvest those golden coins of wisdom and bring them in towards you, and for them to hang off their word. And anyone who wants that is problematic. It's like our cult word: unmutual, repressive, problematic. Get the outsiders and make them problematic. But in Discordianism, there's only one outsider, and it's you. So everyone else is in on it. You're the one. You're the one. You're the outsider. It's better that way. Trust me. It's better that way. So there we go. That's Deep Thoughts. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on now to Kandar, which is going to be quiet because there's no one here. I'm wondering if the initial tranche of people that flocked into this have become irritated with it. And if it is irritating, that's a good thing, really. Because again, I just went through this, right? Okay, I hurl out pearls of wisdom. You are supposed to reject them and disbelieve them and deride them. Yeah, that's the point. Okay, and I deliberately make the environment sort of hostile, unless you're in for the long haul. Yeah, because I do it partially to my convenience. I tell you, it isn't very convenient to present myself before the every Friday UK time at 7 p.m. I might be wanting to do something else, but I can't. I've got to do this. You know, this is the spiritual entertainment. Oh yeah, that's in the disclaimer, and I'm quite serious. Discordianism is spiritual entertainment, and in the way that wrestling is sports entertainment. Yeah, you put entertainment on the end of it, and it changes the relationship. Yeah, are you not entertained? Probably not. It's just a guy waffling, isn't it? So yeah, that's what we're at, where we're at with that. And to this level, where I, come clean, honestly and truthfully, started this, felt I had a lot to say, pulled people in, big slide presentations, blah blah blah, all of that was good. That turned out to be the vibe for bureaucracy, and who knows, by bureaucracy this year it may be the vibe again. I have waiting in the wings a new trick for that kind of deep explanation of some concept, should I be called upon to give it, but I'm not. I mean, this is the thing, right? And really underline this, one of the things that I've come to realize doing this is that I am mimicking the practices of other religious service church type activities. Yeah, makes sense. It's not necessarily of any particular religion, but just, like a magpie, stealing bits and pieces from various practices that are employed by churchy type organizations. Partially for mockery, because everything in Discordianism is partially for mockery, but also it has brought to me an understanding of why it is done that way. Yeah, why they run the way that they run, and it is interesting. But the point is that my agenda is totally different. Because most churches, to some level, are evangelical, or they proselytize. They want more people in. Whereas I have always made the mission statement: I am not trying to create per se new Discordians. If you are a new Discordian, come in. You are welcome. Everybody is welcome. That is the point. But it's running a service for people who are already on that Discordian track to some degree, And what I've realised is that the service, to a certain degree, is about offering people an opportunity to attack the pastor. Yeah, there's almost just inherent in the setup is a way where the congregation, are supposed to have reservations about the pastor, the priest, the vicar, whoever's running that ceremony. You're supposed to, all of that stuff. I mean, maybe to certain people, sitting in ranks, looking up at the pulpit, listening to the guy bang on and on. It's kind of hypnotic, and so that's good. But for those people to whom it's not hypnotic, it is provokingly wanting you to set up in opposition to whatever's being said, right? But, and here's the kicker, in a normal or in the usual course of things where a service is run by some kind of rabbi, pastor, imam, whatever, the juice is in denying the congregation the legitimacy to attack the cleric. Yeah, you can't say anything. I am here because God told me to be here. Yeah, and you don't have a right. I am passing on a message from God. I am a humble man who is passing on a message from God, and therefore what I say goes. And you cannot respond to, because mine is the word of God. But I am not God. I'm just here on his behalf. He couldn't come, so he sent me instead. And indeed, the whole ritual of a clerical service is to say, here are things, words of God, delivered by an intermediary, and there is no place in the format. If you suddenly stand up and say, but surely that's not right, or whatever, it's set up to undermine that. Whereas we are sat here, or this service is here, and it should be set up, and it now from here on out will be set up, where that's absolutely where the catharsis comes from, attacking me and understanding, watching me leap from foot to foot, trying to deal with nonsense, as has happened sort of in the past. And I felt when I began this journey that it was my duty to keep the service on track, which is good. That's fine. It's a fine thing to keep the service on track, because then we get to the end and we know. But as long as we cap it off with the sacrament, the rest of it's pretty much up for debate. It's just content, you know. And so that's how it's going to be from now on. Deep thought will be there. I'm not really planning to do big slide decks unless I find something I'm particularly going to want to push in your direction. Then we'll have the floodgates will open. Kandal will be here for as long as it needs to be here. And then we're going to move on with the service one way or another. Either we're going to skip the rest of it because you don't care and you've derailed me, or we're going to go through the rest of the program because nobody's derailed me. And I, like a madman, assume control. And I can push it through because I'm an old man yelling at the cloud. Ah, that was good. I just did that off the top of my head. Well done, me. Which brings us, of course, on to Faces of Eris, where I have humorously garnished the Faces of Eris introduction board. It says, "Ooh, who is the Face of Eris this week?" with "I forgot to change this text," which I did. Well, no, I didn't, because this one is paradoxical. I deliberately changed the text that there was there that said that it was Prophet Week to that. So this is the one week where that is a blatant lie. If it appears next week, I really have forgotten to change the text. But this week, it's a paradox, because me telling you I have indicates that I haven't. Therefore, no, both of them can't be true. It is a lie. So there we go. Hey, Mr. Mike 13, what's up? If you've just arrived, I take it, Mr. Mike 13. I was just telling you how you had to attack me and derail the service. Not you, personally. I wasn't there. Like, Mr. Mike 13, come in here now and derail it. A bit of like wrestling trash talk, you know. I've seen Mr. Mike 13. Well, I think he needs to come into this service. And I think that he needs to disrupt it and derail it. And I don't think he's got the stones. That's not how it went. Although I kind of wish that it had gone like that, because that would have been really exciting. No, I was just saying that you, as one of the congregants of the service, I have made a determination that in my regular service on a Friday night, it is your job as a congregant, so any other congregants also the same, to come in here and stop me waffling on about what I want to waffle on about, and make this service about you and what you want to talk about. It's your job as a Discordian. which of course you must be, because this is a Discordian service, right? So you're a Discordian, right? I'm not going to check your card or anything. If you're not a Discordian, but you just put in the chat that you are, then we're all going to believe you. Nobody's going to doubt that you are. So you could just try it on for size, see if you like it. Or maybe you want to insist that you're definitely not a Discordian and you're some other type of thing. In which case, that's cool too. In fact, Discordianism is very open. It's a bit like Buddhism. Buddhism has a whole thing where you can be something else other than Buddhist at the same time as being Buddhist. It's a bit of a have your cake and eat it kind of spiritual thing. So, Discordian is all up for that. We need the numbers. So if you want to be a Discordian, Baptist, Jewish, I don't know, more incompatible spiritual paths, Satanist, then that is absolutely fine with us. Probably not fine with the Satanists, the Christians, and the Jews, because you can't be all three of those at once. But you can be a Discordian, Christian, Satanist, Jew. You can do that, because the Discordianism part, it's all inclusive. It's a big umbrella. So there we go. I've explained now Discordianism, which I haven't really, but that's good. If you don't understand what Discordianism is after what I just said, then I am doing my job correctly as a Discordian pastor and thoroughly confusing anyone who walks through that door. As we notice here, Mr. Mike 13 has not in fact attempted to derail me in my stream of consciousness. It's a very bad idea to leave me on this, because I have ADHD and I can stream of consciousness with the best of them. The way that you have derailed it, okay, so actually you've done your duty, because we were about to do a feature called Faces of Eris, where we take the goddess Eris and we see where Eris is in this world, how she has revealed herself unto me this week, and I'm passing that on to you, and it's something for you to consider. But instead I've just gone on a massive rant about what the congregation should do, bringing you up to speed with what I've said already, and asking you various questions which you have wisely kept to yourself, close to your chest. You haven't put anything out there. You're not engaging, and that's great, because now have you disrailed me in a different way? I've disrailed myself. Wow. It's like this guy, he's like the Bruce Lee of confusing the pastor, in that he let me confuse myself, trip over my own toes, and now I'm not even sure what's going on. That means that everybody here right now is confused together. I get the impression that Mr. Mike 13 has run away, so that's how I like it, asynchronous viewers. Let's move on. Let's see the face of Eris this week, and the face of Eris this week is you! I have pulled a meta switch on you. That's a picture of a mirror, by the way. I quite like it. It's kind of like it's a rubbish mirror, and it's also quite chunky. It's almost like a cartoon of a mirror made into solid reality. And that's the way I like it. It's all about you. It's all about you. I'll get a copyright strike just for singing that, so that's cool. Yeah, this week Eris has gone pantheist. She is in all things. Now that's interesting, because usually when a deity is a pantheistic deity, they will pretty much stick to that. God is in all things. God is everything. God is reality. God is everything. And Eris prefers that on a casual basis. She's part-time everything. Sometimes she's everything or they are everything, and sometimes they are, it's got to be she, because she is referred to as the goddess, and of course, as we've discussed before, that is a convention adopted to cause maximum irritation to all the right people. But yeah, some weeks she just likes to be in everything, and then other weeks no, she's a specific other thing, and the other things, they're not her. Some weeks this game controller is Eris, and other weeks it's not Eris. Not Eris. And she can even do a sort of 50-50 thing in some weeks, like a sort of a spiritual Thanos thing. 50% of all things are Eris. So some things you can abuse, badmouth, treat badly, and there's no consequence, but other times you are actually insulting and abusing the goddess. It's a 50-50, it's a gamble. And then she does other percentages as well, 25%, 33%, 75%. She can do them all because she's a goddess, and specifically the goddess of chaos. So the idea is that she wants to keep you in a state of mortal terror about whether you can be nasty to inanimate objects or not, because one week they might be Eris and other weeks they're not, and it can be the same object. She's a goddess, she can do what she likes. Sometimes she can be this small black biro, and other times she can be like, nah, I don't fancy being that black biro this week. That's what you have to consider. That's what you have to take into yourself, that Eris will just fool around like that. But this week she is you, and indeed everything else. So she's pantheist for the next... Well, I don't know, you can't even say. She might give up in 5 minutes. We can finish this segment. She'll go, nah, I'm finished now. Or she could do it for 24 hours, or she could be everything for the next 3 weeks. We just don't know. You can't ask Eris. Eris tells you. You don't tell Eris, so that's fine. And that means, to be fair, at some points, chaos is the fabric of existence. That is one of the tenets upon which the Discordian faith is based, that chaos is the fabric of existence. But, very importantly, Eris is there to point to the chaos. Eris is the high priestess of chaos, and deific at that. She is not the chaos. So, all the times that she is not everything, at which point she identifies at that point with chaos, chaos is everything, and she is chaos made flesh. So it's a really hard, it's just as hard. But basically, she thought, the concept of me being the goddess of discord and chaos, that is too simple to understand. Look at these other religions. Look at the Holy Trinity. People base entire lives contemplating that very concept. Yeah? So, I'm going to give him something to think about. And indeed she has. So, well done. Reality is what you get away with. That is the title of a Robert Anton Wilson screenplay that was never made into a film. I'm not sure whether it's even been published, but it applies in this case. Chaos is the fabric of existence, therefore reality is whatever you can get away with. So, you can be me running a Discordian service on Friday at 7 PM UK time, or you can be Mr. Mike 13, who runs into a Discordian service, asks what's up, is welcomed into the pews, and then just turns around and walks straight back out again because he realises he's walked into the bad side of town on the wrong side of the tracks and is associating with bad sorts. And well done to him. Well done to him for taking that moral stand and saying, no more. I am not hanging around with this strange quasi-pastor in his red pork pie smoking hat with his robes and garbs of office on. This is wigging me out. It's freaking me out. I don't feel comfortable. I'm out. And he that was him. That was his identity. So that's fine. So he could get away with that. That's his reality. Excellent work, Mr. Mike 13. Connectedness, on the other hand, is chaos. Well, that's true. Yeah. If we're now rolling all of these concepts together. Chaos is the fabric of existence. Reality is what you can get away with. Eris can be in all things. This presupposes that if, as many religions like to tell you, and philosophers, that all things are fundamentally connected together, that we're just one big blob of something, some universal chord unites all of us, well, that's just chaos, right? There's no difference between you and me. That's chaos. There's no difference between me, someone I've never met. There's no difference. We're the same thing. We're just unaware. We're parts of the same thing that are unaware of each other. That's chaos. A cherry bakewell sitting in a supermarket 8 miles away from me is actually me. It's part of me. Me and that are the same thing. They're indistinguishable. That's chaos. So, there we go. If whenever someone says we are all connected as part of the same universal vibration, yeah, whenever someone says something like that, what they mean is everything is chaos. And the universe is meaningless because everything is chaos. Reality is what you could get away with. Everything is connected and chaotic. The universe has no meaning. Put those things into your pipe and give a good old toke, because it's all true. And actually it's a basis for something which I will possibly talk about in the future. But there we go. Live, love, laugh. Chaos! You could actually put chaos in between live and love, or in between love and laugh. Or you could just replace all the words in live, love, laugh with chaos, which would make the phrase chaos, 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 chaos. That would be fine, because the universe is meaningless. And to be fair, what better thing is there in chaos than taking chaos as a mantra and just repeating it until the word chaos itself loses its meaning and itself leads into chaos. Chaos, 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 chaos. See, it stops meaning. It's just a noise after a bit. And you are part of that. You are part of that meaninglessness. So if you're feeling down, if you're feeling unsuccessful, if you're feeling like there's some standard that you're supposed to have met that you have not, or there's some action you were supposed to have taken that you haven't, or anything like that, just reassure yourself you're meaningless. It's meaningless. Give yourself a break. Might as well be happy, because it's all meaningless. That was this week's Eris. And now, of course, we're into that part. We're into the end game, as they like to say. There's no Quandar after this. We're straight into the sacrament. So, buckle up, buttercup. We're going to mine out a little bit of artificial meaning from the chaos. We're going to take the top card of this deck, which was thoroughly shuffled 5 times and then cut to bring the relevant card to the top of the deck. And we're going to look at that symbol. And that's the thing, right? I've just been on a big diversion about how everything is meaningless and the universe is chaos, and we are all connected into this big ball of pulsating chaos that is the universe itself at large. But the fact is that in order to experience the small part of the universe that is us, in order to say, look, here is me, one, we have to construct an identity, which is something that we do. We all have an identity, and that's how we roll, and that's cool. But then the other thing is that we cast about ourselves. We look for signs, signals. We look for meaning in the meaningless, and the tarot deck is just one of those sources of information. And this card right here is the piece of information that the Universal Fruit Machine is throwing out to us this week. And I haven't seen it, and you haven't seen it, but we're about to. Here is the liminal space between knowing, not knowing, and knowing. It's as easy as that. What have we got? We got, not again, not the 8 of Cups again. We've had that before. At least once, if not twice. In which case, we are very much in an area of familiar territory for us on the weekly round. Remember the 8 Cups there, they represent items of emotional significance, shall we say. Yeah, so they're parts of your mental furniture which carry emotional significance. Relationships, sentimental attachments, things, emotional rules, as you were, that can dictate your behaviour. And at the 8 level, we're talking about a level where, well, the little, what is he? He's a beetle? He's a beetle. Yeah, he's a beetle. As you can see, the sun and the moon are having a bit of scrap there in the sky, and this kind of represents the heavens, the sky above, the world, the atmosphere, the vibe is conflicted. And the beetle takes his wand, so although this is a cup energy, the character in here has a wand, and wand, as we know, is about intellectual passions. Yeah, so a relationship is a thing that you put in a cup, yeah, but a lesson, a hobby, a pursuit of art or something like that, that's a wand. Yeah, so this guy's this beetle, I say guy, could be gal, don't know, it's not important. The figure has taken an intellectual pursuit, an intellectual passion, and turned their back on several. 8 is the number arbitrarily of the card, but it could be any number of emotionally significant items, and is heading off into the mountains, a symbol of trouble, tribulation, of ascension though, but also of great risk. And rather than take their emotional significances with them on this journey, they're taking an intellectual passion. They want to know. They don't want to feel. They want to know. And why? Maybe they think there are 9 cups on the other side of the mountain. Maybe they think there's just one really big cup on the other side of the mountain. You know, there's an element of which we inevitably gather cups as we go through life. Items of emotional significance, emotional anchors, things like that. And when we turn our back on the ones that we have in our world, in our vision, in our landscape, and we walk away, it is inevitable that they will come back. But maybe these cups were gifted under circumstances that the beetle did not want them. Maybe they were foisted upon him. Maybe he's had them for a while, or she's had them for a while, and now they want to reconsider that. So this is a card, so we can't know where the beetle is going, or why the beetle is leaving behind the cups, or what the beetle is hoping for with its intellectual passion and its path of such. But this is a card of that action, of stepping away, of trying to be a bit more up here and a bit less here for whatever reason. Might be the right thing to do, might be the wrong thing to do, might just be a thing to do. So there we go. I think that this week we have taken a step on the road of intuition. My intuition. Because I'm the only one here to intuit at the moment. Mr. Mike intuited. He intuited he didn't want to be here, which is fair enough. But yeah, if I feel energized and enthused by this more intuitive way of approaching the material, which is interesting because it didn't come till after deep thoughts. It was in fact Eris's return that provoked this spark, and as a result we've had one of the deepest reflective tarots that I think we've had in the service. So I think that's great. If you are an asynchronous service enjoyer, please make your thoughts known about how you feel about the service and what you would expect to see in the Discordian service. I know there's Discordians out there. Actually, that's not true. One of the things that I am deeply uncertain about at this time is how many actual Discordians are out there. Because it seems to me that the Discordians in social media groups are not Discordians. Controversial, maybe. I mean, they can be Discordians. Anyone can be a Discordian. How you are a Discordian as you say you are. But then the point is, at what point does the church get so broad? I currently feel like I'm the only Discordian that does things the way that I do them. That I think that many people who flock into the Discordian group should rather be in a contrarian group. And just being contrarian does not necessarily make you Discordian. And I'm not saying that as I'm not going to kick you out of the church. I'm not. Everyone's excommunicated anyway. Every Discordian is instantly excommunicated the minute they profess their faith. So it would be pointless for me to try and chuck you out of the church, because you've already been chucked out. So have I. So that's not what I'm about. What I'm saying is, maybe you would be happier if your idea of Discordianism is to go and post a bunch of memes. I mean, for God's sake, we have people in there posting right-wing meme after right-wing meme, and many of them with the agenda of just upsetting people who don't like right-wing memes, and that's their centre. But is that a basis for a faith, a religion? No. Do they want it to be? Possibly not. So, yeah. My issue is... I've read, of course, I've read most of the Brenton Clutterbuck book, Chasing Eris, where he goes off and he meets Discordians, classic Discordians around the world. And one of the things there is that they're always... Discordianism, it's a little bit like Lord of the Rings. It happened in the past. Living, breathing Discordianism doesn't happen. And as I believe from the beginning I stated, Discordianism is hard. It's a very... at this time in history, it's a very punishing path of faith, because one, you're not allowed to kick people out of the church, so we don't have any rules, but sort of everyone can do what they like. That's how it... Do as thou wilt is the whole of the law, is something that Aleister Crowley said. He wasn't a Discordian, he was a Thelemite. So but it applies here. But the point is that if you want to be told what to do, as many people seeking faith, they do underlying want someone to just tell them what to do. Discordianism isn't really going to help. There are a few things that it will tell you to do, like eat a hot dog on Friday and not believe anything you read, right? So you will get instructions, but the point of the instructions is to make you question the instructions, and if you decide that they're good or they're rubbish, or you want something more, you need more guidance, it leaves you swinging in the wind. You have to work it out for yourself. And to be a good Discordian and to spread a good Discordian message, you have to say, I can't help you, brother. But is that true? I mean, that's something I'm not looking to explore in the coming weeks. But I am absolutely confident, because we've seen it time and time again, that the more dogma that becomes recorded and set down as if in stone, the unhappier the individual acolyte to that particular path. So I made it a determination. I'm not telling anyone what to do. But I seem to be in an environment where I'm not... It is possible to congregate, but also to give each other some space. The thing is, I'm getting the vibe, people don't seem to want that. Maybe because I haven't done it perfectly yet. I think one of the things about this is one of those tasks that you do spiritually, to do the task and to see what you learn and to see what you find out. So me running these services is that kind of act of devotion to the spirit of the thing. So yeah, I'm already getting the vibe that there may be a more useful thing to do. But the difficulty with the more useful thing that I can think of is that it's more generally, it's catered to quite a bit. All I've found so far in Discordianism is I'm the only one. How's that? When it comes to Discordianism, like really saying, hey, I'm a real Discordian with real hair and all that, I'm the only one. There are lots of people who are casual Discordians who say, yeah, if you're going to put anything down, put me down as a Discordian, that's fine. But how many people who are like entertaining all this madness to the extent that I am? Am I the only one? Well, we don't know. But I know that I'm going to have my sacrament right about now. Here we are. This jar of sacramental tokens has proven to be excellent value for money. I cannot even remember how far back in time I bought this. Apparently they were best before November last year. I'll take a risk, being as they're mostly sugar, which is a preservative. So here we are. Here is the weekly sacrament. And of course we have a little thing that we say, a small ritual that we perform at this time to help to get us into the right mood. And it goes a little something like this. I could not find a hot dog, not even with a bun. So I eat this candy noodle because devotion comes with fun. Hail Eris! Good sacrament. So I think that's it. I think that at the end of this this service, what I'd have to say is, I think I've done the job, and it might be the first time ever. I don't know how many services I've done at this stage exactly. Probably maybe 20. No, it can't be that many because 26 is halfway through. It's 6 months worth. So I haven't done 6 months worth yet. So have I? August, all of September, all of October, all of November, so we're coming up to this will be the 5th month. So I must have done 19. And of course, there are other services. I'm talking Friday services because we've also done seasonal change services. We have done the bureaucratic stuff. We have made the time. We have repeatedly. It's like the act of starting a campfire. Yeah, we've done the bits. We've done the motions, and I think we reaching the end of a phase. There's a phase of that process where we are doing those motions because we're exploring, because we're looking for something. And I think that this service marks a point where we tip over into a point where we've kind of found it, the thing, but we don't know what it is. So if you want to find out what it is, then I'm going to have to say it's like a TBC thing, a TBC thing. And we will find out in the coming weeks what it is exactly I think I've found. And I think I've found for you, for us, for the congregation of the SWDP Chapel, who glory in the spiritual entertainment of it all. But that, for me, is all she wrote. By she, I mean Eris, obviously. Hail Eris. So you guys get out, immanentize that eschaton, whatever you want to do. And I will see you same bat time, same bat channel next week. Hail Eris, and as ever, thank you for watching.